Happy Life, Chapter 20. Never be complacent about what you have done badly. Acknowledge your right to make mistakes, but rectify them immediately. Bitterness, rage, and violence must give way to joy, benevolence, and peace. You have reincarnated to grow and be happy. Walk away from emotional dysfunction and ascend the steps that will lead you to victory over yourself. Those who are unable to tame their negative inclinations become victims of the resultant disorderliness. Okay, this little page explains to us that in this path of life, each one of us, everyone, will commit mistakes. That's just part of the way God created us and wanted us to build ourselves little by little from one experience to another, learning from our mistakes and learning from the things that we get right as well. So there is no shame in making mistakes. There's no shame in tripping and falling from time to time. But what Joanna is encouraging us to do is to pick up ourselves immediately and take a moment to reflect on that mistake and ask ourselves, so what happened? What went wrong? And then once we identify what went wrong, why did it go wrong, right? What moved me? What were my inclinations? What were my intent? How did I miss the aim, right? So that we engage in this thoughtful and purposeful thinking that can help us to truly extract the important lesson from that particular mistake. So acknowledge your right to make mistakes, because this is part of being human. It's a natural part of our journey and growth, but seek to rectify those mistakes immediately, because if we keep committing the same mistakes and we don't learn from them, we are just postponing our own happiness and experiencing more and more suffering, because it disorganizes us and it creates imbalance in our lives and sometimes in the life of others as well. So we have to reincarnate it to grow and to be happy. Walk away from emotional dysfunction. And the most important thing here at the very end, those who are unable to tame the negative inclination become victims of resultant disorderliness. So our negative inclinations, again, it is this exercise of self-knowledge, of self-discovery. We all have tendencies that are not necessarily aligned with love. But they don't mean we are bad. They speak more often than not about our inner needs, about our wounded child, about our illusions, about our frailty. So the most important thing is, once we commit a mistake, not to judge ourselves too hard, but to become aware, to feel whatever we need to feel, and to be extremely curious about what happened. Not seeking to blame anyone, but seeking to take responsibility and to understand our inner process. Every single move, every single intent and feeling has a deeper cause within ourselves. And sometimes the answer doesn't come from the cognitive pathways. It takes a little time to observe, it takes a little time to feel, it takes sometimes time to be quiet and to listen and to understand a little bit more of our inner world. If we don't get it for the first time, we'll commit the same mistakes or similar mistakes. We're going to deal with the consequences of those mistakes, and it is in this process that sometimes requires many errors until we finally understand what is it that is driving us. Why are we committing those same errors? What is our emotional need that keeps leading us in that pathway? And then we can experience some healing, the healing that comes from awareness, and we can better guide our steps towards harmony and towards peace. So don't give up on this process. It might be difficult, it might not be clear at first, but the most important thing is to wake up each day committed to get it right. And if you don't get it right, be committed to learn with the process, no matter how long it takes.